Hello everyone, I want to handle in this video the case where you have a conditional statement with some nightmarishly complicated logic, which could look like this crazy absurd thing over here. We can put it in one line if we want. There are some A, B, C, D Boolean variables of this do nightmare-inducing logic function, and we have this crazy, insane logical expression that is obviously a super overly exaggerated thing, but hey, you may have something that it's not so crazy, but still a bit complicated, and you may be trying to refactor a logical expression like this into something more simplified and easier to visualize. And you may look at this and you may be suspecting, well, these combinations of just four things into not A and B or C and blah, 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 blah. You may tell yourself, maybe there is an expression which has the same logical significance as this one, but it's way, way more simplified. And you may try to do something nightmarish like copying this as a comment and then try to somehow simplify this. I don't even know how I would do it, honestly. You may try to simplify this manually, but you don't have to do it because, as it turns out, there is a very nice tool which is called Wolfram Alpha. If you go into this website, then there is a search or input box here, and it's as easy as grabbing your expression and pasting it inside and pressing the enter key. If you scroll down a little bit, there is something called minimal forms, and in here you see a list of alternative expressions equivalent to the thing that you entered, but as simple or as simplified as possible. And if you are wondering here, the syntax is a little bit different, but here the syntax of this, you may use, for example, the first one. The syntax is a bit different. This kind of horizontal line symbol means no, it's negation. The upper arrow means and the downward arrow means or. So this expression on top would be equivalent to not A and B, or open parenthesis, not B and D or C. And if we run this thing for a second, we are calling our do nightmare-inducing logic with some values here, whatever they are. If we console log this with using note, then this returns banana. So apparently this entire thing is true. Let's do some refactoring here. Const args is going to be an array with these same values. Paste it here, and then we do some spread operator magic. This should now return the same thing as it does. And let's create another function which is going to be called function do easier logic, which so far is going to do the same. And we are going to copy this thing also, new res, and inside the easier logic we're going to simplify the logical statements into its more simplified form, and we're going to see we should get the same. So let's replace that by that, way simpler. And then the second statement is also rather complicated, so we're going to see the simplified version, which is just not B or D. Not B or D. Now we're going to see if these statements print the same thing. They do. Let's change the arguments. Let's turn this into false. Let's make everything false, actually. They always print the same two things. So that's how you can simplify easily and without even thinking about that overly complicated logical expressions.